when we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City when we get back on our feet. Yeah, you don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets. Cause when you're in the Motor City, nothing is as pretty as the hustle. You don't know about the day, you don't know about the streets. Cause when you're in the Motor City, everything ain't pretty, but it's love though. Oh. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City when we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City when we get back on our feet. Yeah.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Spike Kool-Aid for the first day in May 2023. May 1st. I said I was going to be on camera, but I lied. I'm not ready, man, and I can't find my pants. No, I'm not ready. I wanted to get new thumbnails because I want to unveil everything at the same time. But I'm going to start putting more work into the thumbnails. They're going to be updated daily based on what we're talking about. Also, I'm supposed to start my timer and get off in 55 minutes. Let's see. So I haven't forgot, but I am, man, you think it's enough time in the day and then it don't be. That's all I'm saying. But shout out to the NFL draft, man. Listen. So first of all, let me shout all y'all out that spent all weekend with your boy, man. We were on Saturday for 7+ hours. We were on Friday for approximately 5. You know what? Let me look. I can look right now. Robin's Nest with the dono. Appreciate you, 10 Bone. Smackarooski says second best running back, best linebacker, second best tight end, and second DB. Home run draft. Brad Holmes cooking a monster. We're going to talk about that, bro. We are definitely, first of all, thank you for the super chat. So, a couple of things I want to say before we get this thing going. First of all, with the weekend that we had, okay, y'all, I'm about to blow your mind. All right, let me make sure you can't. Okay, you can't hear me. I'm about to blow your mind. All right. We started the draft on Thursday, and I had 9,700 and something. Okay, and on Friday night, heading into Saturday morning, I hit 10,000. The Detroit Lions Syndicate has 10,000 subscribers. I started this channel 18 months ago, the day the draft started. So the first day of the draft was my 18-month anniversary. And the second day, I hit 10,000. And I'm about to hit 10.7 today. 10,700 subscribers today. Okay? We are almost 4,000 ahead of Lions Nation Unite. And I am barreling down on the guy from Chat Sports, and I will pass him in a year and a half. I will pass him. So anyway, thank you guys for that. We also spent 4 hours and 41 minutes on Friday. We spent 4 hours and 45 minutes on Saturday, and we spent 7 hours and 15 minutes online on Saturday. Okay, so if you add all that up, 4 + 4 is 8. We're gonna say that's 9.5. And another 7.25, we spent about 17 hours online. 17 hours. And I had a absolute blast. It was the first time I did it by myself. How are Lions fans feeling after the draft? I'm good with what we did, as am I. Goat Life, appreciate you. Rainbow Girl, I got your comment, and that would be fantastic. I don't know if I'm going to the Seahawks game, but I would love to go to at least one game. So that would be fantastic to meet you and the family. That would be absolutely. I've been sharing a lot, bro. You've earned it. Thank you, Robbins. Robin, I appreciate that. Gibbs going to add Kamara-type skills. Okay, we're going to get on that. Thank you, Stanley. Kool-Aid Cornbread, thank you. I think my opinion is known now. Absolutely. If I could get 10,000, if I could sub 10,000 times, thank you, Josh. Josh been there from day one, bro. Josh know the whole government, boy, because that's how long he been around. All right, so let's get into this, all right? What is the first thing we should talk about? I want to talk about the trading of DeAndre Swift, so let's get right into that. The Detroit Lions traded DeAndre Swift for a 4th-round pick and swapping picks with the Philadelphia Eagles. They came up from, we had 249, and we came up from 249 to 219. But before we go any further, I got something that I want to say, but they can say it better.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you?
Exactly what just happened. DeAndre Swift, I told you. If you had any time, if you follow this team every day, man, you know. DeAndre Swift, his time was numbered before the NFL draft. And when we took a dude 12th overall to essentially replace him, he was out of here. Now, rumors came out over Saturday and Sunday. The trade happened Saturday. But I saw a rumor yesterday that said, quote, DeAndre Swift was not happy about trading Jamir Gibbs or drafting him. And I'm saying to myself, are you serious? Now, this is to all my Eagles fans out there. If you got an Eagles fan or if an Eagle fan come across this, as a matter of fact, I'll make a thumbnail for this later. Don't act like DeAndre Swift is all of a sudden a great running back. All I saw Saturday was who's stopping this offense. You better hope that the player can stay on the field, okay? Now, Brad Holmes came out in a press conference and said that it was amicable on both parties. DeAndre, he said he wasn't thinking about this year. He was thinking about the future. Not only DeAndre Swift's future, but also the Detroit Lions' future. Jamir Gibbs is the future. DeAndre Swift is not. We knew that before the season even ended. So don't act surprised. And as far as the Philadelphia Eagles fleeced the Detroit Lions, can we retire the word fleece, please? Because I swear, if it is a trade and the Lions, there's a fleece involved somewhere. Either they fleeced us or we fleeced them. We actually came out better. Now, the pick is not until 2025. 2025. So we don't benefit. We didn't benefit this year. We don't benefit next year. We benefit 2025. Before you know it, it will be 2025. Let me remind you that 2 years ago, well, not even, more like 20 months ago, the Detroit Lions traded for Trinity Benson. And when we did that, we took a 6th-round pick in 2023. It was 2021 at the time. Well, what do you know? We reaped the benefits of that 6th-round pick this season. Before you know it, we'll have the draft here in Detroit, and then the very next draft, we get a 4th-round pick. Obviously, we would have wanted to see a pick this year, at the very least next year. But I'm telling you what, DeAndre Swift, the last year of his contract, the fact that Brad Holmes got anything for this man is fascinating. We got to lay off Brad Holmes. He literally did the best thing. Trust me, if I'm Brad Holmes and I see the way that this guy drafts, you got to know he tried for this year. You got to know he tried for next year. But the Eagles said, are you crazy? This guy is on an expiring contract. He could walk away, okay? And guess what? If he walks away, it's possible the Eagles could get a compensatory pick for DeAndre Swift. And also, if you love him that much, let's not rule out a return somewhere down the line. We got a compensatory pick for Marvin Jones in last year's drafts, and guess who's back? Marvin Jones. I forgot who that comp pick was, but now Marvin Jones is back on the team. So I don't want to hear the word SOL. I can't believe the word SOL, the letters SOL were even uttered this weekend. I can't believe it. What y'all talking about? Talking about we literally upgraded at running back. Swift and Perry from Seattle are two injury-prone players. Philly, beware. DeAndre Swift wanted to go home, so we sent him home, and we got something for him. Yes, Swift never coming back to Detroit. He don't have to, as far as I'm concerned. I'm just saying. You know, don't be opposed to him coming back later down the line. Lions got a 5 of the top 50 prospects according to PFF. Swift is not it. He had 4 years to show us. Yeah, we'll count Buffalo. He had 3 years to show us, but I get your point. I get your point, man, and you're right. But people, not only Detroit Lions acting like he was that deal, I heard somebody with the audacity to say that Swift was better than Jamir Gibbs. It's rolling, man. Rolling. But
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
you're right. See, one thing about me that you don't see, I don't waver. I don't go back and forth. I saw something that was despicable over the weekend. We're gonna do another segment. I ain't gonna say no names. Shout out to R&B Money. I ain't gonna say no names, okay? But I saw something despicable over the weekend. And what that was Jalen Carter, because we have to talk about Jalen Carter too. Jalen Carter was available at pick number 6 for the Detroit Lions. This is pre them trading back. And I saw an individual, okay, that said that he did not believe that the Detroit Lions were going to draft Jalen Carter. And then when Jalen Carter is available at pick 6, he is jumping like a little schoolgirl, saying that we're about to get the best defensive player in the draft. I thought that was very funny. I thought that was very, very wishy-washy. Who was sitting here telling y'all we weren't going to take Jalen Carter? Me. I was sitting telling you that. Brad Holmes might not be able to predict what he's going to do as far as who he's going to draft, but you know who he's not going to draft. What did he say over the weekend, ladies and gentlemen? The Detroit Lions passed on Jalen Carter. Oh, let me address this first. Best sporting news channel on YouTube. If you're from Michigan, even better. Support your man in this channel. Future by donating even $2 to the cause. Love y'all and go Lions. Appreciate you, Josh. And yes, donations do help. They help with the studio build and all that stuff. I am in the process of doing that. Did y'all see the backlit lion? Did y'all see that? I'm actually trying to work with the creator to see if we can bring in a payment plan system. Because the one, I don't mind. I think the price is awesome, but a lot of people was hurting with that price. So I'm gonna see if he can do that, and hopefully so we can get you guys on a payment plan type deal. And I think it'll help that. Now, what I was saying was I told you that we weren't going to take Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter did not fit. And one thing that you said that you saw over the weekend, over and over and over, in every Brad Holmes press conference, because no, this is Brad Holmes' time to shine. We didn't see Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell gets he gets the training camp. He get all that. Brad Campbell said, these guys have to fit what we're doing. We got our guys. He said Jamir Gibbs is not a running back. He's a elite weapon. Okay? I tried to tell you that we were not going to get Jalen Carter. He did not fit what we were trying to do. Brad Holmes, the Detroit Lions are we're about humility. We're about from the dirt. We're not about ourselves. We're about the team. And I knew that we weren't going to take this guy. Okay? So start listening. I'm not saying just be gullible with other just YouTubers. But I get up. I talk about this team. I go to bed. I'm talking about this team. I talk about this team every single day. The only person I don't talk to the team about on a regular basis is my wife. That's it. I'm yapping about the Detroit Lions all day, every day, and my son. I don't talk to him about it either. He don't care nothing about football. Good for him. But when it comes to what the Detroit Lions are doing, and I give them an A draft, and you know why I give them an A draft? Because Brad Holmes didn't give a rat's behind or its tail about who you wanted in the NFL draft. What makes this a failure? Because Jamir Gibbs was rated a second-round talent? Let me tell you something about Mr. Gibbs. Mr. Gibbs is going to give you something you haven't seen since Javid Best. I'm going to make a bold prediction. The Detroit Lions will have an 80-yard plus, 75-yard plus run this year, and it will be by Jamir Gibbs. Jamir Gibbs is an elite weapon. He is way ahead of DeAndre Swift. The Detroit Lions have a pattern, and that pattern involves getting guys that they want. If Brad Holmes did what you wanted him to do, he wouldn't be a GM worth 2 cents. This guy painted himself as the villain and is okay with it, and I can roll with that. Holmes did say we have no idea who they were going to draft. Nick, he did say that, but for some reason, Detroit Lions fans are going crazy. Because who are you to say what round these people should have been taken in? You are not a scout. Who cares what grade you have on him? Who are you? Who am I? I'm a nobody. You think Brad Holmes cares what Detroit Lions Syndicate thinks about? He's in charge of this team. He gets fired if they fail. He gets the praise if they succeed. And outside of a few picks that have not panned out, Ife Melifonwu, Levi Onwuzurike, those two guys, they on the chopping block. Outside of those two picks, we don't have a Brad Kaya on this team. We don't have a Jake Ruddock on this team. We don't have a Tease Tabor on this team. We don't have a Jelani Tavai on this team. We don't have an Austin Bryant on this team. I can go on and on and on. This guy is the same guy who let Kenny Galladay walk. Let Brad Holmes do what he was paid to do. Sheila has gotten out of his way. She brought in the proper team. Let them do what they were paid to do, which is bring winners to the city of Detroit. I told you we weren't going to get Carter, and we didn't. His number one target was Will Anderson. He was not, and here's even better. Listen to what I'm about to tell you, okay? I promise you, based on the character and the play of Will Anderson Jr., Will Anderson Jr. was the Detroit Lions' number one target. He was the number one target. Brad Holmes, let me ask y'all a question because I want to know how y'all feel about this. The Houston Texans, I got to applaud them. Man, because they got their cake and they eat it. They eat it, man. Now, let's say I love me some chocolate cake. Chocolate first, lemon second. I'm a sucker for those two cakes, man. Anything lemon, anything chocolate, I have a hard time saying no, okay? But let me ask you this. Shout out to the Houston Texans. They got their franchise quarterback, which I told you they were going to do, and they got the dude that was, the best offensive, the best defensive player, hands down, killed him, okay? But let me ask you this. They gave up a 2024 first-round pick. They gave up, I want to say, about 3 picks, and they moved back 9 spots, or they moved up 9 spots. If Brad Holmes trades away next year's first for Will Anderson Jr., if he gave away what the Houston Texans gave away, how do you feel? Be honest, because this is safe space. How would you feel if Will Anderson Jr., we traded up from 6 to 2, and we gave up a little bit less than the Houston Texans? How would you feel? Count Buffalo says, I don't think Will Anderson is going to have more sacks than James Houston. Very possible. Hunt You says Witherspoon was Brad Holmes' number one target, but Seattle ruined that. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that at all. Y'all was convinced by that Devin Witherspoon was his number one target. But remind me again, where did we take a cornerback at in the draft? So let me get this straight. If Devin Witherspoon was his number one target, why didn't we take a cornerback in the draft? We didn't take a cornerback in the draft. We took one in undrafted free agency. So it was Devin Witherspoon or no one. I disagree with that totally. But you can believe that. That's cool. Because we all have our opinion. I think his number one target was Will Anderson Jr. After that, it was over. ADG says, I love that Brad Holmes doesn't chase names. No, he doesn't. He chases character. And that's why Will Anderson Jr. would have been on this team. Not only is he a dog, he fits what we're trying to do. Okay, honey. You always coming in here starting trouble, my man. We took Brian Branch several picks later, and he is a safety, not a cornerback. So leave it in the comments below. How do you feel after this draft? Y'all was ready to rip his head apart. I'm talking about off with his head after day one. And I was chilling. Oh, let me say this, by the way, before we end this segment. All y'all that was flapping, let me ask you a question, because I you know what, we'll say that for a new segment. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Appreciate it, Salty Clown. I got a question for y'all, and it's a legit question because I want to know. We trade back, and we acquired Jamir Gibbs at number 12, not number 6. We took him at number 12. In addition to that, we got more capital. We got an extra second-round pick, okay? And all I heard was an explosion of irritation from the fan base. When I say y'all, I'm talking about the collective fan base, those who had a problem with drafting Jamir Gibbs, number 12. Ironically, coincidentally, he was also drafted the exact same spot that Jamison Williams was the year before, and they came from the exact same school. Now, the question that I have for the Lions fans that fit this category, why were you upset that we drafted Jamir Gibbs when we gained capital? He's not injured, but you were okay with us losing capital, drafting an injured Jamison Williams. That's a real question. I want to know. See, it was okay for us to come up and draft, quote, the best wide receiver in the draft. Well, I'm about to say something that's about to hurt a lot of y'all feelings. Jamison Williams may have been the best receiver in last year's draft, but he ain't even the best receiver on our team right now. I'm going to let that sink in. He's not even the best receiver on our team right now. The best receiver on our team right now will be making plays September 7th. Jamison Williams will not be. But why was it okay for him to trade up, get an injured wide receiver who he knew was not going to play last year, and y'all was okay with that, but Jamir Gibbs, who is a home run hitter, will break one to the house, is an immediate threat to defenses, and y'all can't stand it? Is it because it's not the guy you wanted? Is it because it's not the guy that Mel Kiper said we were going to get? You know what I heard all day, all weekend, and I'm still hearing it now, the word reach. That Jamir Gibbs was a reach. I'm also hearing that because Jamir Gibbs said he was shocked he went that high, that's one of them quotes that you take and you put it in a context that suits your narrative. Jamir Gibbs said he was shocked he went that high because of how the league values running backs. how the league values running backs because he let everybody else get in his head when I told y'all that Bijan Robinson was in play. But what we found out during the draft is that Bijan Robinson was never the target. Bijan Robinson was never the target. He was in play. That's what I said. I also said they was going to draft him if he was there, so I was wrong about that. But y'all know what I'm saying. Overall, I'm on to something. Jamir Gibbs was a reach. That's what I hear. But no one is saying that about Bijan Robinson. Nobody's saying that about Bijan Robinson. What if Jamir has a better first year? What if Jamir wins Rookie of the Year? Y'all going to be saying that then? What I'm saying is let the man do his job. Let this kid get on the field. Don't take what he says out of context. He said he was shocked because of how the league values running backs. Because everybody else has gotten in his head as well. He's sitting there, there's no way they're going to take me this high because everybody has me graded in the second round. There's no way. This says 313. What we got to get out is our own way. Brad Holmes is our general manager. We just talk about it. But if he messes up, we want him fired. Absolutely. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Brad, I was watching his press conference from last night with Dan Miller of Fox 2. Brad Holmes is going to be around for a long time. Brad Holmes is the GM that we wanted. He's the GM that we didn't know we needed until he got here. He is. And I don't want to take anything away from Dan Campbell because Dan Campbell's in there too. Listen, I said this in year one that they were going to make us winners. They were going to make us winners. So, again, ask yourself and put it in the comment section below. The Detroit Lions trade up for, quote-unquote, the best wide receiver in the 2022 NFL draft, who's not going to be an asset immediately, and you guys are okay. He drafts, in his words, what he calls a versatile weapon, an elite weapon, to be effective immediately. He trades back, gains an extra second-round pick and other stuff, and you have a problem with that. I want to know. Rainbow Girl says, Brad Holmes is a gift from God to the Lions. What's up, Bryant? Brad is the savior. I will never question him, anything he does. If I did, I'll be wrong 100% of the time. Here is a first-round talent, but teams just hate taking him in the second round. Flying Hawaiian in the building says, a lot of fans seems to live and die by the draft. I don't think those fans have bought into Holmes and Campbell, turning our team into playoff contenders. They're still in the SOL mentality. You know what, Flying? That's so far the comment of the day, bro. That's facts. And to them, I say,
he needs some milk.
Y'all need some milk, bro. Y'all need some milk. I've been super critical of him. And Brad Holmes, you know what? Let's do this. For all the hate that Brad Holmes gets, all the backlash he's getting for reaching for Jamir Gibbs in the second round, which, by the way, he was told immediately after he took him that the New England, we was coming to get him. But you ain't taking, we were. We were. See, this is conversations that these GMs aren't going to have before the draft. This is why now you see why Brad Holmes plays everything close to the chest. But I got to give Brad Holmes his flowers. Let me tell you why. Brad Holmes did something that he has never done. Okay? He has taken a linebacker higher than the 4th round. Check that off the list. He has also drafted a quarterback. Check that off the list. 2 of them. He took an undrafted quarterback. Check that off the list. Now, unless he drafts, the quote that I used to use was, Brad Holmes doesn't value linebackers high. Well, obviously he does. Maybe it was just a matter of how you built the team. He was building the team the way that he saw fit. I think Gibbs is a day one starter. He's what Brad wanted from Swift. There's no doubt. Josh, it ain't no way you're going to be pick number 12 and not be a starter unless you're Jameson Williams. That's the only way. By the way, Brad Holmes have a man crush on Jamison Williams. He ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. Jamison Williams can, outside of something that would get him canceled immediately, some legal matter that you can't run away from, Jamison Williams ain't going nowhere. So everybody talking about trade him, cutting him, that ain't happening. Jamison Williams will be on this team until he's not. Brad Holmes loves Jamison Williams. It almost seems like he's kind of making excuses for him in a way. But he going to be here, so he ain't going nowhere. Also, just real quick, Lamar Jackson, thank God, that's all over with. That is all over with. And I heard a rumor today that in the next 15 months, which is ironically before or right at the end, no, wait a minute. 15 months would be before next season. Not this season, but before next season, that the Detroit Lions are entertaining a Jared Goff extension. Ooh. How does that make y'all feel? Some of y'all just threw up a little bit in your mouth. So Brad Holmes don't give a care what you think, what I think, or anybody else. And guess what? When we get that playoff win and we get that division title and we get that conference game appearance, maybe win, and we get that Super Bowl appearance, you ain't going to remember none of this. And you ain't going to care. What I saw from Brad Holmes over the weekend is he does not care. And this, I put this on Twitter, this might be what he meant. If you look in the draft room, they got a whole mural on one of the walls that says villain. Like they are really running with this thing. This is what Brad Holmes meant by being a villain. Extending Jared Goff potentially. Drafting Jamir Gibbs. Trading away DeAndre Swift. Drafting Jack Campbell. Both reaches in the first round according to the pros, according to the fan base. And he did not care. And neither will you when Jamir Gibbs shakes somebody out their shoes and runs and nobody catches him. Because that's what's going to happen, people. You talking about a safety valve for Jared Goff? Oh, man. That's going to be something. Bijan can be the best running back in the league next season. I wish people would really pay attention to what Ork has been saying. We look for very specific things. They look for more than talent. Thank you, AD. That's what I've been saying. I said it in yesterday's video on Detroit Lions Syndicate. It's not all. We got a lot of guys who aren't the best at what they do, but they step up when they need to. Our whole team is essentially full of rejects. If you think about our team, y'all. Think about the Detroit Lions and our team. It's pretty much the rejects. We got a rejected quarterback who was traded away for a guy that he was 7 years younger than. That team wins the Super Bowl the very next year. We got a guy who was hurt, and because he was hurt, and we haven't even talked about Hendon Hooker. Come on, man. Jack Campbell is super slow. He's this, he's that. He shouldn't have gone in the first round. Even our undrafted rookie free agents, Chase Cota, the running back, Israel. I'm telling you, man, this team, I am more excited now than I ever was between January 8th and April 27th. I am stoked, man. If I could fast forward to summer, I would. Because this team is going to do things coming up this year. And speaking of doing things, did anybody see the article for the post-draft power rankings? Because let's do a poll. Where do you think the Detroit Lions ranked as I find out that Snoop is trying to buy a hockey team? Okay, Snoop, I know you had it like that, bro. I know Snoop had it like that, bro. Because you remember Snoop had his own show and he was in that house that like looked like a house we could live in. Okay, what's up? NR says 4. You close? You are close. Just like the 04 Pistons. division this year, in the Super Bowl next year to need it. Rumor has it Hendon Hooker. Oh, man. Why y'all doing Hendon like that? I was really excited for the season before the additions. About to be fun next year. Braylon says 3. All right. So let's find out. We're going to find out today. All right, let me move this out the way so y'all can see. And we're going to do it like this. All right. Let's get it crack-a-lacking. Oh, you know what? All right, hold on. We got to do it again. The Detroit Lions come out of the 2023 NFL Draft a better team, which is what the whole point of this draft was, right? Every draft. It's to come out of the draft a better team. And we are that. We are better at linebacker. We are better at running back. Okay? We are better in the secondary. Our secondary is going to be ridiculous. Okay? And we are a better team than we were heading into the draft. And today, the first work day after the NFL draft ended, the NFL, coming from Dan Hazes, which is the same guy that does the power rankings during the season, he brings his take on, which I consider the NFL's take since he works for the NFL. He seems to be the only one that really does it. The power rankings for the Detroit Lions after the draft. Now, there is a bit of a surprise in here, and we'll talk about it when we get there. But here is the power rankings for the NFL draft after the 2023 draft. The number one team, according to Dan Hazes, is the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, I ain't mad at that. They won a bowl. Previous rank, number 1. Number 2, the Philadelphia Eagles. I ain't mad at that. They was the runner-up, and they had a pretty good draft. They got Jalen Carter, got DeAndre Swift in a trade. But just a little side note that I want to put out there to Philadelphia Eagles fans that will never watch this video is chill out on DeAndre Swift, all right? You come talk to me when he finishes the season. How about that? Number 3, the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they were a game away from the Super Bowl. I'm not mad at that. Previous rank, number 3. Number 4, the Buffalo Bills. Not mad at that. All the teams we expect. Number 5, the San Francisco 49ers. All the teams we expect, right? Number 6, the Dallas Cowboys. Okay? That's a bit of a surprise. Number 7, the Baltimore Ravens. Okay. Number 7, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They actually were number 8, number 7 before. Number 9, the New York Jets. It's amazing what Aaron Rodgers can do, huh? Move you up 2 spots. Number 10, the Miami Dolphins. Okay. They had 4 draft picks. They didn't have a first-round pick. And, okay, all right, Dan. Number 11, the Detroit Lions. Previous rank, is number 11. Says with 2 picks in the first round, the Lions entered the draft with a golden opportunity to significantly improve their defense overnight. While they did use the number 18th pick on a linebacker, Jack Campbell, they actually spent their top pick, number 12 overall, following a trade down from number 6 on running back Jamir Gibbs. A move that prompted DeAndre Swift trade to the Eagles 2 days later. If Gibbs becomes a star, that should say when Gibbs becomes a star, no one would take issue with the choice. But was this the best use of Detroit's assets? They could have paired Aiden Hutchinson with another promising edge rusher or added elite young talent at cornerback after cutting ties with former first-rounder Jeff Okudah, who is not elite, by the way. Okay, why even mention that in the same sentence as elite? Not necessarily a bad draft, but just a curious choice. And you know what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. We already talked about that, Dan. Nobody cares, bro. These are your thoughts. Nobody cares. Will Anderson Jr. was the pick. When he wasn't there, it was nobody else. That was it. That was it. And we signed a guy in free agency, undrafted free agency, that has tremendous upside. Okay? And apparently, Brad Holmes has faith for what we have on our team. You see how they always nitpicky, cutting ties with former first-round pick Jeff Okudah. Got to add an elite young, talented cornerback. Oh my God! So I see what I'm gonna have to be doing. I'm gonna have to be in damage control. I'm already in damage control ever since Monday. I've heard a few SOL cries. You could hear it in the distance, like SOL. The Lions are SOL. Even in the chat, it was like, this is an SOL move, which I haven't heard SOL all offseason. It's funny to me. They giving out blank-handed compliments. Yeah, exactly. Throwing major shade on the lower. Absolutely. Josh Pastner's going to have a full season. Thank you, Count. Thank you. Campbell ran as fast as Fred Warner. Interesting. Same old Lions fans. I like that, Nick. Just better win. I agree. But listen, okay, wasn't that our thought before the draft, right? Wasn't that our thought before the draft that they better win? It's funny how a lot of y'all, I'm not going to say no names, okay? Part 2 of this segment. A lot of y'all in here was talking about how the defense had made a turnaround. I'm telling you, man, watching the Lions fan base the last 2 days has been a pleasure because y'all was ripping me up with that Jamison Williams reaction. Hey, dog, you was tripping. You was tripping on J-Mo, man. J-Mo gonna be, J-Mo go, man. J-Mo, it was like Kobe. Y'all was all over it. Jamison Williams, man, when J-Mo get on the field, it's gonna be, and you know what? This is the real sound y'all should have made when Jamison Williams. This is the real song. Jamison Williams' career right now is. Jamison Williams will have played 17 games max by the time the 2023 NFL season is over. And y'all had a fit based on my reaction of drafting Jamison Williams because of the defense that we had after 2021. Okay, but some of y'all was okay because the defense was about to turn around, man. So what you mad for? What you mad we ain't take a defensive player? You see, I'm not tripping, and I was right. And I'm not even tripping on who we took because last year showed me that while these guys might not be who I want or necessarily the best at their position, these guys play. They play, man. And that's what somebody said earlier in the show about having more than football talent. You have to be a football guy. He's a football player. That's what's the most important thing is. You got to be fair with J-Mo. Brad Holmes was clear that J-Mo wasn't drafted for last season. No, I don't. Because our defense was ranked horribly at the end of 2021 when we went 20. Now, I ripped him up for J-Mo. J-Mo, I listen, that I have not changed on J-Mo, meaning I would have still preferred defense, but I understand why he did it. I understand why he did it. So this is going to be a unique situation nonetheless, and I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. So Salty Lions fans and mood swings go hand in hand. They don't know whether to cheer or hate on us. Y'all better get it together. It was going to be ranked with or without J-Mo. We weren't one defensive player away from being what is that? Markedly better. Okay, ADG. That is my point. That is my point. We gave up 2 potential defensive players for 1 offensive player. That is my point, bro. That we weren't 1 player away. We could have got more than 1 player. You know what this seems like to me? It seems like that covering this team, I see that to be a fan of a team, you have to be a fanatic. You have to be, like, fans can be fanatical. Okay. The Detroit Lions, it's like we don't know. It's almost like we bipolar or we have schizophrenia. I think that's a better, like you don't know who you're going to get. You have no idea. I'm pretty constant throughout. I've been like that on before I was on YouTube. I've been pretty constant. If you watch any of my live streams, you know I will yell and I will voice my frustration and I will call you out in a second. Brad Holmes was on the fence for me going into year 2. He was. And he was definitely on the outside of that fence after we started 1-6 because he ignored the defense. His first 2 picks of the NFL draft were hurt players. And our defense sucked in 2021. And when he was 1-6, he was on the outside of that fence. But what I saw in the last 10 games, that it was mostly the same players. I mean, what changed? What changed? We fired Aubrey Pleasant and Aiden Hutchinson stood up. That was it. That was it. That was the only difference between 1-6 and 10 and 8-2. Hey, Derek, my husband is bipolar. Don't worry. Hey, listen, Rainbow Girl, a person. I wasn't trying to take a shot at bipolar people. My ex-wife, yeah, and but hey, Rainbow Girl, I don't know if she didn't know she was until we got married. So yeah, I was the one that helped her find that out. Anyway, that's for a whole nother channel. That's for a Patreon video, which I don't even have. And James Houston, Malcolm Houston. What I'm saying is, oh yeah, that's right. That's right. You're right. They did play. I mean, I want to say Malcolm started, right? He started. It ain't no wrong with that. It's not, it can be tough, but it's doable. No, I'm good. I just understood you couldn't fix every issue in this team or this team that has 1 or 2 drafts. We didn't have much talent under Contricia. Yeah, that's true because he got everybody out. What I'm saying is Stafford's pick was used on Jamison Williams when our defense sucked. And the thing that, okay, so here's what I'll say, AD. It's not about being right or wrong, although I will say I think I'm kind of closer to being right. Let me tell you why. Sometimes it's about being right or wrong. It depends on what people say to you. But, okay, so my thought was this. I said our defense sucked, right? And you take Jamison Williams and you take Josh Paschal. So you can kind of say Josh Paschal wasn't for a 4-year either. So it's almost like, remember we used to say that Brad and Dan have 3 years? Like they won't even get remotely fired or even on the hot seat until at least after year 3, right? And that's essentially exactly right. Me, I would have taken it, and the reason that I say I was kind of right is because our offense was ranked number 1 without Jamison Williams, but our defense was ranked 32nd. So Jamison, that's why I said that I would have gone defense, because Jamison Williams statistically made no difference before he returned. Our offense was number 1 for 4 weeks, and we didn't have the best player on offense. That's why I said, but our defense didn't make the Seattle Seahawks punt 1 time in week 4. And that's why I would have gone different. Shadow says, till J-Mo produces, he's in the doghouse. Well, it looks like, honestly, he can do whatever he wants. Brad Holmes was like, because I don't know if y'all saw the press conference, he was like, we took Antoine Green to, we were surprised he was there. And, I mean, he's not, until J-Mo comes back, I mean, he's not replacing J-Mo now. He's not, and I'm just like, okay, dude was a 7th-round pick. We know he ain't replacing J-Mo. Like, did you really have to say that? Did you really? And then yesterday he says that they have had extensive conversation with Jamison Williams. They have talked to him. They have told him what he needs to do. But unless he just completely falls off the wagon, he ain't going nowhere. So you can forget about that. The whole NFC. Now, what do you think? Where do you think the Detroit Lions rank in the NFC just after the draft? I know we got to see people on the field, but after the draft. So we'll wrap up the show because we're only going to be on for an hour. Like I said, I'm going to work on some thumbnail designs. This month is the month of change. I'm going to start appearing on camera. Yeah, I know I said today, but things didn't work out. I couldn't find my pants. So it's going to be a work in progress. I got to do a new banner. We traded DeAndre Swift, so now I have to redo my Syndicate banner because he's on there. But I put out a poll, and it looks like St. Brown is the winner. So St. Brown is going to replace the traded DeAndre Swift. But here's what I love about Brad Holmes. Like, Brad Holmes, even after Jamison Williams, meaning I'm okay with it now. I'm okay with it. I was okay with it before the draft, but even after the draft, I'm like, this guy, because our undrafted rookie free agents, some of them can make this team. Like, some of these guys can make this team. Even in the undrafted pool, he found some guys that can make this team. If you don't know, I am doing a series on Detroit Lions Syndicate called Undrafted, where I'm taking a look at all of our undrafted players. I think today I'm going to do a tryout. The tryout, we brought in somebody, defensive back Xavier Bell from Portland State. We also have a cornerback, Starling Thomas V. Somebody said that he was kind of somebody to look into. And I'm hoping we got Chase Cota. He's got $80,000 guaranteed. We brought in running back Muhammad Ibrahim. I don't know how it's him, but it's spelled H-I-M. I don't understand that. Quarterback Adrian Martinez. I mean, we got some guys that can make this team. Count Buffalo says it was Aaron Glen's scheme. He was way too aggressive with his play calling in the beginning of last year. Could be. I also think it was the position of some people as well. Thank goodness Brad Holmes has thick skin. Aaron, everybody. Look, I got to have thick skin being on YouTube. So I can only imagine what he would feel like. Dirty says, Derek, my message is coming through. Yes. Yes, they are. Keep us posted on your undrafted series. I'll definitely be checking that out. Oh, Aaron, it's already up, bro. I did 3 players yesterday, so you late. It's on Detroit Lions Syndicate. Brandon Joseph. Yes, Brandon Joseph is, let me see. Where's he at? Yes, the safety. But we also brought in a defensive back to try out. Ibrahim is what the Dern says. Yeah, but somebody, so is it him or him? I wish we would have got Wheaton wide receiver. I think Chase Cota could be solid. But before we get off, I want to ask you guys something. Let's end with this. Let me pull this up real quick. Let me make sure I don't have any new messages. Actually, I do. Okay, that's about Snoop trying to buy the team. Snoop trying to buy a hockey team, I guess. Okay, I want to get your opinion on who is going to. We didn't even talk about Hendon Hooker, man. Oh darn! You know what? Let's do this. Let's end the segment on this, and then we'll save this other talk for tomorrow since Dern is in here. Detroit Lions powerhouse in the building. Are you telling us you record your videos in your underwear? No, it's a joke. I'm joking because people be like, you don't have on any pants. Or is it? Ha-ha! I don't know. Powerhouse says, I'm stoked about our 2022 and 2023 draft picks. It's not what I had on my board, but it's what we got, and it's always one pride. Yeah, I think a lot of people are getting over that not on my board shock. You know what I mean? Of people just, it's not on my board. Okay, so let's discuss this because the Dern came in here, and the Dern, we got to have a conversation. All right, and then we'll end the video or the stream. The Detroit Lions drafted Hendon Hooker in the 3rd round, pick 68 overall. He seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders. He played in a certain system. And Brad Holmes made it very clear that there is no controversy when it comes to quarterback. It's not a thing. And I believe him. Okay? And it's possible. We don't know where Hendon's going to start the season. Is he going to be on a PUP list like Jamison Williams? Is he going to be, or Jamison Williams was on an NFI, right? Will he be on that list? Because he could be. Very similar to Jamison Williams. Will we see him at all? So will we see him during the preseason? We don't know. But one thing we do know is that it is not a quarterback controversy. We even hear talk about Jared Goff getting an extension, which is the part Dern will love, potentially in about a year, okay, which I think is the right time to do it before we go into the 2024 season. Hendon Hooker is 25 years old. I want to say sometime during the season he turns 26. With Jared Goff possibly being extended and the clear message that there is no quarterback controversy, what do you see happening with Hendon Hooker? There is a 3-year age difference between Jared Goff, our starting quarterback, and right now our projected backup quarterback. By the way, Teddy Bridgewater, that's off the table. I think that offer has been rescinded. I don't think it still stands, but it could. It would surprise me, especially with picking up Adrian Martinez in undrafted free agency. But Hendon Hooker, is his role going to be backup with the threat of starting, or backup or starter in 2025? What do y'all think? Mr. Murder. Wow. Name is a bit scary, my friend. Says Hooker is a backup at best for 2 to 4 years. So that means that he will be 30 years old coming off his rookie contract. Wow. I think Hooker will be backup for 2 years and then starter. Okay, Rainbow Girl. So that means that if that's the case, there's no reason to extend Jared Goff. We're not going to extend him to send him to the bench. Antoine says it depends on Goff. Goff starting ain't even a question, says DM. Patty says backup. Okay, so when we drafted Hendon Hooker, what were your thoughts? Was it, man, we got a backup now? Or was it, man, we got a potential starter? What was your thoughts when we drafted him? Not going to get extended for high money. I believe that. Thomas says just watch for Pascal in 2023. Yep. We can see Geno Smith type of thing with Hooker. Because who did they take? Who did the Seahawks take? Dern says I was thinking. Antoine says insurance. Insurance. So that's more than a backup. That is an insurance policy on a few things. A backup if Jared Goff goes down, or a replacement if Jared Goff sucks. Okay, that's actually pretty good. He's a backup and a great backup with starting caliber if Goff goes down. Okay, so that's actually pretty good. All right, so here's my prediction. My prediction is that Jared Goff, his extension, will be based on his play this year. I don't think he has to play to the level of what he did last year with those 9 games with no interceptions. I mean, that was ridiculously, like a ridiculous streak. And I think that if he plays well and he doesn't price himself out, the Lions have a good position to be in. Now, what I want to know is, why did Brad Holmes draft him? Was it because if you're talking about extending Jared Goff, that means that Hendon is like solidified backup. Like right now, what is he thinking? Is he thinking, okay, because they're not – my biggest thing about Hendon was the age. He's not 22, 23. He's a very mature 25 years old. Whereas you have Bryce Young, Trey Lance. You have those individuals who have 4 years. They're 4 years younger than Hendon. So what was the true intentions behind drafting him? Was it insurance, like Antoine said, for a sloppy year from Goff and a contingency plan if they don't extend Goff? Is it a contingency plan based on Goff outpricing himself if he becomes Matthew Stafford 2.0 and wants to get paid and he outprices himself in 2025? Or do you plan to extend Goff regardless? I mean, he can't suck, but you understand what I'm saying. Goff is getting better every year. He's getting better. I expect him to have a better year overall, whether it's a playoff win. And I think if Jared Goff wins a playoff game, you have to start talking extension. How much that will be, I don't know. But what was the purpose? I would have to agree with Antoine and say insurance What that is, I don't know. But I would love to know the true intention behind drafting Hendon Hooker. I am making videos of Martinez, and my take is Adrian Martinez is our Taysom Hill. He a gadget player and can do whatever we want to do with him. I thought about that too. PayPal seems the easiest, though. About what? Somebody getting paid? Who y'all trying to pay? Says Steve Young didn't start till he was 30 and ended up winning a Super Bowl and going to the Hall of Fame. That's true. That is true, man. So that would mean if Hendon starts when he's 30, that means that after next year we extend Jared Goff. I'm thinking 3-year deal. So he would be here 24, 25, 26. That'll put Hendon at almost 30, and he'll take over. Braylon says, who knows if Hooker plays this season? That is, yeah. Yes. Yep. So anyway, y'all, that's it, man. We had a lot more stuff to talk about it, but I got things to do, and we'll be back on Wednesday to talk more Detroit Lions. So just so you know, I want to say this. I want y'all to hear this. Then we'll wrap up the show. Hey, Siri. Why is she not talking to me? Cancel. Hold on. She was supposed to say, hey, Siri. Well, it's not the same if she doesn't say anything. Okay. So there have been 77 days. 77 days since the Super Bowl, and we have 129 until kickoff. There's a point, looks like probably less than a month from now, we'll be at the somewhere this month, we'll be at the halfway point where we'll have like 99 days into the season. So just like that, y'all, it's been 70, maybe 78 days now since the Super Bowl, and we have 128 until kickoff next season. So y'all been awesome, man. I will be on camera as soon as I find my pants, and who knows when that's going to be. But I will see you guys on Wednesday. Take care of yourself and each other. Brad Holmes is the GOAT. Get off his back. And we coming for Chat Sports. Yeah, because that's what I do. Go Lions, baby. Peace.
Hello, good morning. Horns is blowing, and I'm pissing off the neighbors. Whether homegrown or imported, we feeling shorted, cause we waiting on our paper. So next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, when we get back on our feet. Yeah, you don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, nothing is as pretty as the hustle. You don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, everything ain't pretty but it's love though. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, when we get back on our feet. Yeah.
All right, I just watched Wakanda Forever on Saturday with me and the wife. It was after the draft, and this is the equivalent of a Marvel post-credit scene. All right, so I forgot to address this during the stream, but I was talking about the backlit Detroit Lions lamp. I ordered mine almost 2 weeks ago. The guy lives close to me, thankfully, so we agreed that I pick it up. But I wanted to show y'all what it looks like. Now, before I must warn you, okay, that you get what you pay for, okay? So this thing is all quality, all right? I'm actually trying to work with him to see if there is an option for installments, all right? So if you say the word installment, usually means it's quite hefty, okay? Now me, I'm kind of bougie. Yeah, I've calmed down a lot since I've become 40 something and realized that you can't always get bougie things. But overall, I'm not an arrogant, stuck up person, but I like nice things. And when I have something I want, I like it and I want it. Okay. So when you see this price, I want you don't faint, don't pass out, but because it's not inexpensive. I'll say that. So this is the backlit Detroit Lions lamp. It is 23 inches. It's $235. Okay. Now I can save you 15 of that if you use my promo code when you make this purchase. All right. I'm actually getting one that is 36 inches. It is going to be behind me in the studio. And depending on what it looks like, it probably will be, this is what it looks like lit. And this is what it looks like when it is not lit. Okay. So this one looks like it might be the 18 inch, but I upgraded mine to the 36 inch. Okay. Now there is a 18 inch one that is $50 cheaper than this. Okay. And you can use my promo code with that as well. You probably have to maybe contact him and see if you can order that one, because I don't think he has it listed here. But this is how much it is, $235. Now, just to show you, he does some of everything. This is what the Pistons one looks like, and the Detroit Tigers one looks like. And again, if you buy anything through him, use my promo code to save you $15. But it is not cheap, but it's also not overly expensive. And I'm trying to work with him to maybe offer installments if that can happen. So we're working it out, but even if you don't, that's the price. And like I said, I believe there is one that is cheaper than that. When I get mine, I'm going to do an unboxing. It won't be in video form. It might be on the Gridiron Blitz, and then I'll put a link to it so y'all can see it. So I just wanted to say that to you, this post-credit scene. But remember, guys, you get what you pay for, man. If you want nice things, sometimes you got to spend a little bit of money to get them. I don't get anything from this. I don't get any money back. I don't get a profit. I don't get a commission or anything like that. When I bought mine, I asked him, could I work with him to get I got a lot of Detroit Lions fans who might love this, and is it a way I can save them some money if we work together? He said yes, and I was like, let's do it. So I don't get any kickback from this. This is all for you, the fan, if you want it. So with that being said, I will see you on Wednesday. Peace. Check it out, though.